The world is becoming more dangerous under Joe Biden. Russia poses the most immediate threat. It has mobilized nearly 100,000 troops at the Ukrainian-Russian border and appears poised to launch a major offensive. What's prompting such international boldness from Russian President Vladimir Putin? It's certainly no coincidence that it comes after Biden's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, widely seen as a sign of gross incompetence and weakness. Perhaps his handling of other matters, domestically and internationally, have backfired so spectacularly that our enemies may see him as vulnerable. So what can we expect in the coming months if tension continues to mount in the region? Joining us now from the ground in Kyiv, Ukraine, is Nolan Peterson, senior editor of Coffee or Die magazine and a former Air Force's Special Operations pilot. Nolan, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
So you're there in Ukraine. You've been there for years covering the fighting in eastern Ukraine in the Donbas region with Russian-backed separatists. You know the reality on the ground intimately. Tell me, how seriously is the threat of a major Russian military incursion of Ukraine being taken by the people who actually have to deal with it?
Right. Well, in the 7.5 years that I've covered the war in the Donbas, it's an ongoing war in Ukraine's east. It's a trench war. This is by far the most dangerous moment. We're actually talking about a countrywide invasion, including an amphibious and airborne assaults from the south, potentially armored columns moving in from the east and from the north. You know, World War II style invasion of a sovereign country in Europe with about 40 million civilians. So it's a very serious situation. I think as this crisis has developed, both Ukraine's military and its civilian population have been taking the threat more seriously. Again, this is a country that's been dealing with war for 7.5 years. So they're hard to rattle. You know, they're not going to be hyperbolic or overdramatic about this situation. But now you are seeing people taking it seriously. Particularly last weekend, I was out with a group of irregular civilian volunteers who were training to defend Kyiv if it is in fact surrounded or attacked by Russian forces. And it really presses upon you to be here in a European capital and to take seriously the notion that we could be living out the type of warfare and a type of scenario that we haven't seen, since the 1930s or 40s in Europe.
What are the calculations that you think Vladimir Putin is making here? First off, what does he want in Ukraine? Why would he order an invasion here? And what do you think could be some of the things last minute that might either push it over or not, depending on what he sees as the likelihood of success?
Right. So in 2014, Ukraine had a revolution, a grassroots revolution organized by the people, not the CIA, which is what Russia would want us to believe. And that revolution overthrew a corrupt pro-Russian president, Viktor Yanukovych. After that revolution, which I think sent a strong message to the Russian people that a Slavic population, a Slavic post-Soviet population, was able to choose a pro-democratic, pro-Western path, it was a threat to Putin. Right after the Arab Spring, I'm sure he was quite nervous about that contagion of revolution reaching Russia. So right after the revolution, Russia invaded and seized Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula and the eastern Donbas region. And since then, there's been a simmering trench war in eastern Ukraine. And the point of this war, effectively, is to derail Ukraine's pro-Western trajectory, to divert Ukraine off that path. And it's been unsuccessful. And so now, as Ukraine's military is getting stronger, I believe this is probably somewhat of a now or never moment for Putin, President Putin of Russia, to once and for all try to bring Ukraine back under Russia's fold.